What's up, people? It's another edition of the New Breed Podcast, the world's best new metal, quasi new metal adjacent podcast from two dudes who, yeah, we were really there. I'm one half of your hosting duo, Jay Horsecow. With me, I have my partner in crime, the notorious TIM, Tim Anderson Jr. Tim, how's it going?
Great. Just vaping away just to piss off these YouTube people.
There's people that actually censor their podcasts. They like cut out all the cursing
Why?
and their videos, like they buzz over it. And I don't know. I guess it demonetizes you. I don't know. I mean, everybody at home, you look at what I'm wearing. Look at what Tim's wearing. We're not getting rich off this. This is a labor of love. So I
Dude,
think we can.
I'm wearing a white tee that people wear to bed. You fucking kidding me? I don't give a
Like
fuck.
a fucking 90. All right. So what are we talking about this week, everybody? So uh occasionally Tim and I talk through an article where we'll come across a list or something where we agree or disagree, and it's usually good banter. Well, we came across one, and it came out in 2023, but somehow it just finally ended up in my lap. It's on the website, the Numetal Agenda, which I think is Holiday Kirk's outfit, and it's proto-numetal in 12 songs. And this article couldn't be any more wrong if it tried. Like you could, I mean, he could have put the only way this could have been more wrong is if he put like Marvin Gaye, Madonna, and the Pips on this thing, right? Like, so we're gonna start off. I am very linguistically pedantic, right? Very anal about the words we use. We're gonna start off with the difference between proto, adjacent, and influential. We're gonna start off with that definition, right? So proto is Greek for first. So when you think about proto nu metal, these are the bands that my definition is they are playing nu metal without realizing they are playing nu metal, or they are progenitors, creators of that sound, right? That's proto nu metal. So when I think of bands like proto nu metal, let's go in. I think of bands like Plastique on Raucous Records from New York. I think about Tribal Disco Noise from California. I think about Lungs. Losers usually never get signed from Florida. These are bands that were playing the nu metal sound without even realizing they were playing nu metal. It's just what they were doing, right?
Yep.
That is proto nu metal. You When we talk about influential, these are bands who are making their own way through their musical careers, and the sounds, the soundscapes, the effects, how they've structured their songs were it turned around and influenced later songs that were created by artists that are arguably nu metal. For example, Cannibal Corpse is not nu metal, but that is influential as far as brutal death metal goes, right?
Yeah,
It is not that
absolutely.
I wouldn't say it's brutal death metal, it's just death metal, but it was influential. Suffocation, death metal, they were proto slam, if you want to go that far, right? Or internal
100
bleeding,
fucking percent.
right?
Yep.
Internal bleeding, proto slam, proto brutal death metal. Um, these when we say influential, right? Influential means a band that through the course of making their own sound and doing their own thing ended up giving some influence to bands later down the line who kind of aped that sound or used that as an influence when they built their own catalog, right? So that's proto. We've got influential. Now let's talk about this is a big one, adjacent, right? So when a band is seen adjacent, this is a band that is contemporary of the scene, but not necessarily included in the scene. If you want to picture a Venn diagram, they may have toured with a lot of these artists. They may have been involved with a lot of these artists, but they are not that type of genre. Perfect example I will give. Tim, 311.
Yep.
311 toured with Korn, right? They have played with a bunch of nu metal bands. They played with Cypress Hill. They played with Farside. They played with everybody. They are not, it never would be confused in any of those genres, right? Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson is, I mean, not nu metal. He's industrial. He's doing whatever he was doing. He was adjacent to nu metal because he was out at the same time. Just because you played an Ozfest, folks, does not make you a nu metal band.
Yep.
Um,
Just because you have one bounce riff does not make you a new metal band.
right. So now that we have pedantically pulled apart the difference between a proto band, an influential band, and an adjacent band, let's walk through this list. It's proto nu metal in 12 songs. And we're not shitting on anybody specifically. We're just shitting on your opinion, which we think is wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't rephrase that. We know we're wrong. You're wrong. And we're going to prove you. So, first songs first. First song on this list is Beastie Boys' No Sleep Till Brooklyn, 1986. This is a hip hop, right? This is a rap band. It's a rap band.
Yeah.
Um, does that, I mean, because I don't understand how, I mean, didn't the guitar, Kerry King, played the guitar riff, right? Why would this be proto nu metal? This is the birth of that New York hip hop sound.
It's kind of also I wouldn't call it the birth of like that mixing genre thing because didn't who was the two bands that mixed it? Was it Run DMC
Run
and
DMC and Aerosmith. Yep.
there you go.
Walk This Way. Yep.
Is that proto nu metal?
No, no, that was a band. That was two bands trying to do an experiment, and
That
it
worked.
worked.
It worked geniusly. Yeah.
Worked. I don't understand just because these bunch of white guys from New York had rapping. Now you're saying it's um proto nu metal? No, it has nothing to do with nu metal. It influenced a lot of bands, like the bands in the article. They reference POD, they reference Limp Bizkit. Yeah, those bands had a rapping cadence, but proto nu metal Beastie Boys, no. Beastie Boys is a hip hop act. It's a hip hop act.
Yeah.
Dig out, go back and listen to Ill Communication. It's your penance, right? Listen to it 5 times. Listen to all the intergalactic. You'll be better off. So no. So now we're 0 for 12. We're 0 for 1. We'll start. We're 0 for 1.
Okay.
Next, I want to talk about a band that did a collaboration that it really worked out. They were trying something new. Anthrax and Public Enemy, Bring the Noise. This is 87. Not proto nu metal.
No.
No. The influential of two bands who can of combining bands that cross genres. I mean, one could argue that the influence of this song was the Judgment Night soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
That's the, I mean, what proto Judgment Night maybe, right? Because Judgment Night was Helmet and House of Pain and all those other stuff, all those other bands, all those the combinations. I'm sorry, I don't hear nu metal in this at all.
Not
At
even
all.
one sliver.
At all. I don't get where they were going with this. Like again, it's influential. It's not proto nu metal. It's not the first.
No.
It's not.
0 for
Uh
2.
Over two. Now we've got again, it's over three. Here we go. Faith No More with Epic from 1989. So this is the first song I figured was going to be on this list, and here's why. Faith No More is one of those amazingly influential bands. They went from Epic to I think it was the album was The Real Thing, and then they did Angel Dust, and then they did King for a Day, and some of their albums have been amazing. And they cover a lot of different ground musically, right? But how is that proto nu metal?
Well,
Like,
I see a lot of people use this band and song as like the proto thing for new metal. I've seen it countless fucking times.
and it's
Like,
like, okay, so there's some rap, there's some rock. I mean, what?
dude, this was a staple in rock radio for how many years, dude? I think they still play this song.
Yes, yes.
This was a staple of what old heads would probably call like arena rock, if you think about it.
I mean, this was a band that they definitely carved their own. They had their own niche. They carved their own way, right? They made their own journey. But just because there's a little bit of rapping in the cadence and a big chorus, I don't know. No, you're wrong. So now
Yeah,
we're 0 for 3.
yeah, because if you think about the band that everyone says was the first new metal record, it's Corn, right?
It's Corn.
Is that what everybody would agree on?
Corn is the yes.
Have you
Corn
heard
is the,
any three of these songs in any of that? No, you haven't.
no. And I can tell you, so Tim, before we even go through this rest of this list, what other bands do you think is going to be on this list?
I honestly have not seen this list. So
So guess who typically gets lumped in as early nu metal?
Rage Against the Machine,
I would guarantee you they're on this. I would guarantee you Helmet's on this.
Primus,
Why? That does well, we'll get to that if it shows up.
311. Yeah, I always see them as the proto new, or I always see them as new. Maybe Nine Inch Nails. I don't even know, dude. Let's
All
just
right,
go
so
through it.
let's keep going. So we're over three. Now we hit number 4. This is Ministries, Burning Inside, and Thieves,
Stop it.
1989.
Stop it.
This is this is not
How? How?
this is not fucking uh this is not fucking new metal. Like what? This is industrial. If anything, this is the heavier industrial stuff of the time. The band that was really joining heavy metal with industrial, right? Like
Yeah.
they were basically taking they were a. I mean, you want to put it in contemporary terms, Godflesh. They were a lighter version of Godflesh. Because Godflesh was very abrasive in the '89. Like it was very very
Well,
tough. Not as palpable or appetizing as something like this.
well, if we're calling Ministry proto new, then we might as well call every other band that sounded like that proto new at the time. So let's go through them. I mean, who are the two? If I was to ask you, who are the two biggest industrial acts in the late '80s, early '90s? Who would they be?
It would have been a Ministry and Nine Inch Nails.
Okay,
They were neck and neck.
and then who was the other two that you always fucking heard about? There's two other ones that everybody could fucking say. I'll give you one. It's Frontline Assembly,
Oh, I thought, oh yeah, Frontline Seven, Skinny Puppy.
Skinny Puppy. There you go, right there.
Okay, I mean, but then you have the bands that were of a quasi same tier that just KMFDM.
Yeah,
KMFDM was everywhere. If you're by this logic, KMFDM, Drunk Against War should be on this list
yeah.
because it had a catchy chorus, it had a vibing rhythm, right? It had driving rhythm. I mean, I I think this is a lazy pick because Static X covered Burning Inside and Ministry covered Limp Bizkit covered Thieves. So this isn't like a gimme like, oh well, this is proto-numetal. No, it's not. This is a really abrasive industrial band that
And
just people like their sound.
you know why them bands covered them songs? Because that's what they grew up listening to. That's what they got into.
I I would argue, I would say, not argue, I would say the Thieves cover by Jesus, I'm getting old. The Thieves cover by Limp Bizkit is one of their best songs.
It's good.
It is a fun listen. They do a Limp Bizkit does that song justice. Not to be confused with Crazy Town trying to cover Refuse New Noise, which
Mm.
is Jesus. Moving along. So we're 0 for 4, right? 0 for 4. Has it been 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're 0 for 4. All right. So number 5. Too Many Puppies, Primus, 1990. What Tim, explain to me where Primus influenced new metal.
I couldn't tell you. I honestly think Primus is one of the worst bands of all time, to tell you the truth. I don't hear anything new in that band at all. To me, all I hear is just bass lines that just go on forever that make no sense and they're just
uh,
terrible.
so I am a Primus fan, and I will say I don't hear any new metal bands that ape Les Claypool because Les Claypool is so unique himself.
Yeah.
The only one who even comes close would be Ryan Martini from Mudvayne.
Mudvayne, yeah.
But even, I mean, he's not, I mean, Mudvayne is not bass as the primary instrument like Primus is. Because
Yeah.
Primus bass is the primary instrument, there's drums, and the guitar is doing the accent work. I I don't I don't get it. Like I don't get how this is proto new metal. Like influential, yes. Proto first?
No,
No,
not even
no,
close.
no. We're batting zeros still. Okay, next one. Again, this is a I think this is another lazy pick. Depeche Mode, Enjoy the Silence, 1990. Look, everybody knows that Deftones love Depeche Mode. Chino is a huge Depeche Mode fan. Far, Failure, huge Depeche Mode fans. Both those bands, by the way, neither one of them new metal. Adjacent, neither one of them new metal. I don't hear any new
Listen,
sound in
man.
this.
When I listen to Depeche Mode is one of my favorite bands of all time. When I listen to Depeche Mode, I listen to it because I want to hear that early late '80s new sound. Not new sound. I'm sorry. I want to hear that late '80s, '90s fucking synthwave sound.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want
Mm-hmm.
where exactly are you pulling that from? Because yeah, it came out. You said '90, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're a band that lays their sound on the synth wave sound, the sound that was huge in the '80s. So I don't hear any of that in any of if you name a record from '94 to '99, do you hear any of that in any of them bands? Not
No,
one of them. Not one of them.
no.
So I'm really not understanding this at all.
We're halfway there. We're 0 for 6. It's not getting any better. I have a funny feeling it's only going to get worse. Now we have this one. apropos apropos to the interview we just had. Alice in Chains, Them Bones, 1992.
That's actually offensive in my opinion.
As someone who grew up with grunge, who appreciates what we were just talking about, the Chris Cornell, Lane Staley, Weiland, Eddie Vedder, Kurt Cobain. These were phenomenal vocalists.
Yeah.
Phenomenal vocalists. There's nobody in nu metal that comes close. I'm sorry, and I
Mm,
don't understand how you could say this is. It's giving me a
There's
headache.
there's only one vocalist in the new metal sound who even had a voice that fucking charismatic, and that is Chester. First of all. Second of all, Alice in Chain, like what? How? Dude, all right, listen, man. Before we had an episode that grunge or new metal killed grunge, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, but at the same time, that doesn't really correlate to me because it's like you had that sound with Soundgarden. It was Alice in Chains. It was who else? All
It was
them
Stone Temple
fucking
Pilots. It was
Stone
Pearl
Temple. It
Jam,
was yeah. I
Nirvana.
mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
dude. That's the fucking Seattle sound. That's not. Well, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get it. And back to that, calling back to that episode, new metal killed grunge, but I actually think Kurt Cobain killed grunge when he killed himself.
Yeah, and we both agree with that one
Because if
thousand
he had
percent.
kept going, they would have done another album. Korn never would have got the light of day. Korn was a result of labels grasping, trying to find the next big thing.
One fucking 1000%. If
No,
Nirvana puts another record out after In Utero, how much? How many records does that sell?
oh, it was platinum, quick platinum, sold out world tour. It would have been insane.
And then the record labels and bands before that, and this happens to this day. Whatever is the big sound, people are gonna jump on.
Yep.
Look at Max Cavalera. He did Sepultura, and here's another record. People say Roots is a new metal record. I don't believe that at all. To tell you the truth.
They definitely, Max was using Ross Robinson to ape the sound that he heard in Korn that he liked. But it's this. But if you listen to the song structures, they're not new metal songs. It's them using Ross to come up with that sound. But listen to Dust or Cutthroat or Attitude or oh my god, that album is unfucking believable. No,
Yeah, I mean, to me, Roots is just another. It's just an extension of Rise, and my or not a Rise. What's the
KSAD.
right? Yeah, it's just an extension of KSID. It's just yeah, I
I
can't.
mean,
I can't.
again. They had Ross Robinson produce it. Of course, it was going to sound like fucking Korn.
Yeah,
Of
it's
course,
just
right? I mean, it's like the argument that Machine Head was a new metal band. No, Machine Head fucked around with the sound on The Burning Red. They leaned into it way too hard on Supercharger, and look what happened. The next album, they went way back the other way into black metal with the blackening, and it really worked.
yeah. They went right into the traditional sound that they were at because they knew that shit failed and it wasn't for them. Don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong. The Burning Red has some banger tracks on it. It really
Yes.
does. Supercharger is a super fucking piece of shit, in my
Disastrous
opinion.
record. I mean, shout out to John Detox who showed up and helped us try and navigate that thing, the lyrics or something else. Okay,
But
so we're
all you
go
need
on.
to know is when they go to when Machine Head comes off of Supercharger and goes right back to the roots of that traditional metal sound. It's you already knew right there, and he's never went back to it ever,
Now, do they even
never.
play any
So
of those songs live?
yeah, they do, but it's like here and there. But it's
Yeah.
like I think they
I,
play like From This Day every time, but like
Well, yeah.
it's a good song.
My question was around the Supercharger songs. I know they play From This Day, and they probably play some Burning Red stuff, but they're not playing fucking. They're
No,
not playing that fucking
fuck
live.
no, hell
Fuck
no.
no. He's not
He might.
that
He's
dumb.
probably embarrassed to even say he did that shit.
The fucking the yellow braids and the spikes and okay. All right, here we go, Tim. This list only I think is only going to get better from here on out. Next, we have 1992, Nine Inch Nails and Wish.
Oh, God, this is one I hear all. I fucking knew this was gonna be on here.
No, industrial band. I don't even know what bands aside from your industrial new metal stuff like Static X was really influenced by Wish.
Nobody.
I don't hear it.
I
I
don't hear it
mean,
at all.
no, no, it's Static X, and even then, that's kind of a reach. It's kind of a reach. The article,
Trent is on fucking Trent is on audio saying that that record was them just pissing off record labels first of all.
Yeah, they were mad. So in this article, they talk about it influenced bands like Static X, Fair, Spineshank. Spineshank is a Fear Factory clone. That's how they started.
Yeah.
Rammstein, which is Neu Deutsche Härte, right? That's not this. And Linkin Park and Slipknot.
go,
Yeah, this is
go
not.
go to the next one before I say
Yeah,
something
yeah,
stupid.
yeah. Okay. All right. So the next one. Oh, this is now you're really gonna get stupid. Walk, 1992, Pantera. Holiday, what is you doing? What is you doing? This is decidedly has absolutely nothing to do with new metal. This is an American thrash band. This is not proto new. This is nothing more than Pantera just establishing dominance in the metal scene. That's it.
So Strength Beyond Strength is that a new metal? Is that proto new? You know, all them songs. Like, come on, dude.
I mean, and I'm gonna
What?
so maybe I'm gonna give a little bit of grace.
What?
Uh
No, 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 no. Hold on a second. The Dimebag was is the purveyor of saying. Do people understand with what like they were really about? That have you ever listened to the live record? He basically says, "Fuck that shit."
mhm.
Like, what are we doing here?
I I'm going to give a little bit of grace to this article in this, and I'm going to say, look, I understand. I understand where you're coming from if you are very young and view things ahistorically. You need to understand the world in which these things were happening and what that music, the music world profile, what that looked like, what the ecosystem looked like back then. This is not proto new metal. Not at all. Proto was first. It's first. This is not new. This is a fucking thrash song. All right, we're gonna skip on this
Yo,
before I
yo,
fucking get angry.
have they heard Trendkill? Have they heard that record? Dude, I mean, that record pretty much is just stating like fuck all this mainstream bullshit. This is
All right.
like you get what I'm saying.
Yes, yes. All right. So last two. You called it. You knew this band was gonna be
Well,
on here.
we're already at the last two.
Yeah, we're at the last two.
Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's not much more we could say. 1992, Killing in the Name, Rage Against the Machine.
Oh god, I knew
Now,
this.
this is the old standard. Every young buck wants to talk about this band being involved in new metal. They are not new metal. They are their own thing. What you want to call it, rap, rock, rack metal, whatever you want to call it, right? Rage Against the Machine is Rage Against the Machine in the same way that Primus is Primus. Their sound is unique and it's their own. Um, do if anything, they were influenced by the Beastie Boys with the
Yeah.
rapping, right? Zach was in the band Into Another, right? Was it Into Another?
Inside Out,
Inside Out, which was a fucking hardcore band.
which was a
Uh,
fucking Southern California hardcore band.
yes, this is not just because there's rapping doesn't mean it's new metal, right? Like just because there's a bounce from the Tim, I have a funny feeling you and I are going to go to the grave having this argument with the young kids. And look, we love you guys' enthusiasm. Shout out to all you young people, carrying the torch, wearing the Jenkos. God bless you. Keep it going. Your takes are bad.
They're terrible.
Some of these takes are bad. Okay.
See, and I'm glad we do an episode like this because we've been doing this 5 years in April. Five
Is
fucking
it
years.
is it really 5 years?
5 years, dude. In April of 2025 will be 5 years. And I've been saying it the whole time. These dudes they're just wrong. I'm sorry.
It,
I grew up. I was around for this shit. No, you're no. You can't tell me.
yeah, yeah. Last song. And this is the only one where I think maybe you can make a little bit of an argument, but oh no, there's two more. Two more. I miscounted. We have Helmet in House of Pain, Just Another Victim. This is the Judgment Night soundtrack. So definitely influential, but this is not proto new. And here's the argument I'm going to make. If it was both bands playing at the same time, combining it to like a quasi early Linkin Park, then it would be proto new metal,
Okay.
right? Like if it was Page Hamilton riffing with DJ Lethal scratching in the background and they were both alternating verses, that would have been new metal. This is two bands who did probably the best collab on that soundtrack. and they just happen to meet in the middle and unite it in a way that really works. So I can see this being influential to nu metal, right? Um, Helmet is not even nu metal adjacent as a band, as far as I'm concerned. They did their own thing. They were the avant-garde grunge guys. Bro, everybody thought Betty was the weirdest album, and I still think it's. Are you going to see that tour?
I might.
Are you going to see Nine Inch Nails? I think we got to go see Nine Inch Nails. I'm definitely gonna. I think I
One
might get nosebleed tickets for that.
100%. We
Yeah,
talked about it today.
and did you see Marilyn Manson's coming around? He's doing a headliner in Philly.
Oh, is that a Friday?
I don't
It's
know.
at the Met, right?
Yeah, it's at the Met.
Let's talk about that
Yeah, because
after
I
this.
really think I want to see him on the back of that new album. But anyway, neither one of these bands. I mean, yeah, again, tenuous touch in the fact that DJ Lethal was in House of Pain and now he's in Limp Bizkit. I'm sorry, but that's too abstract. That's an abstraction that doesn't get you to proto state. That's your influential.
No, I don't agree
Uh,
with any of these songs. Well, I don't even. I'm trying to think what this last one's going to be, and I literally can't think.
this is not a good take. Tool Sober,
Oh, for
1993.
fuck's sake! There.
I,
Okay, I'm just gonna laugh.
And again, I'm not. We're not talking shit on your opinions. They're bad. Um, the argument in the article they make the argument of Chevelle and Mudvayne, who have both said Tool was inspiration. Yes, adjacent, inspirational, influential, not proto, not
Chevelle's a
proto.
radio rock band.
Yes, yes. Mudvayne was a prog new metal band on the first album. The second album, I don't even know what it sounds like because I was so underwhelmed. I stopped.
I'm surprised fucking E Town Concrete's not on this list somehow.
Oh my God, I had that argument with somebody on Reddit the other day. They were trying to say they were a new metal band.
Oh yeah, I love that dude. If you compare the Cro-Mags, what the fuck are dude? There's 1,000,000,000 other bands that are hardcore bands that you could have fucking brought up. What are you talking about? Why are you bringing
It's
up
like
Cro-Mags?
it's like people say nine millimeter. They try to say it's new metal. That's not fucking new metal. It's a New York hardcore band.
Yeah, like this dude tried telling me "Time to Shine" is a fucking new metal record. Like what?
Dude, you have ears? Do you have ears?
Well, Cro-Mags. Dude, stop bringing up Cro-Mags. They're terrible. First of all.
You
Second
know
of
what,
all,
Tim? Maybe the umbrage we take is our complaint is there is a pitchfork media approach everybody takes to their music takes where they want to break it down and try and rationalize it. And no, you're just wrong, and your take is bad.
yeah, remember the one dude? Well, in my opinion, the first new metal song was "Back in Black" by AC/DC. What? Huh?
Wait, somebody actually said that?
Oh, you don't remember that?
No.
The dude put a post up, and he starts it out with what did he say? He started out with "Hear Me Out." The first new metal song is "Back in Black" by AC, and I was like, I said, this is the worst take I've ever fucking heard in my entire life. I've heard some really bad takes. This is the worst one I've ever heard. It had to be a 12-year-old.
You know it's something when you're like, yo, this is the worst. Congratulations, because I've seen a lot of terrible shit on the internet, and this takes the cake.
That was the worst thing I've ever. When I couldn't even believe it was real life when I seen it. I'm like, what? Hear me out. No, I'm not hearing you
Now,
out because that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
the three bands, if anyone is listening who's made it this far, and the three bands that were proto new metal, Tribal Disco Noise, Plastique, Lungs. Losers usually never get signed. These are proto new metal bands, right? I mean, you could even say Mindset from, I think they're from Virginia, not the hardcore band. They have the album cover is the angel, the cherub with arrows in its back.
Yeah.
I Hate You Don't Leave Me is the best song on that album. These are proto new metal bands.
You know who I'm surprised is not on this list is Stabbing Westward.
Uh, I'm surprised Stuck Mojo didn't make it.
Mm.
Because Pig Walk is a great album, regardless. That reunion show where Bonds came back and sang for them that they did in Georgia, it's on YouTube, and it's that is up there with the Shai Hulud set where Chad Hulud came back and sang. I I put that on as
Yeah.
background noise. That shit's awesome.
Yeah, VOD, new metal.
You know what? I will say this about VOD. The more time goes on, the more I go back and list those albums, oh, I truly think that they were a band that was so far ahead of their time, nobody knew what to do with them.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
it's
the Drip album, they were way out in front of everybody. Then they did Imprint, which is not a new metal album, which is, I mean, again, they were out in front of everybody. Then they switched it up and they did From Bliss to Devastation, way out in front of everybody. I just think they were ahead of their time, a lot like Candiria in that respect.
I'm literally was just gonna say I can't believe Candiria wasn't on this
That
list.
they're bands that were just so far ahead that people didn't know what to do with them, and because of that, the people's ears couldn't catch up.
Yeah, because 300% density is new metal.
Constant velocity is natural as being at rest. All right, so um, in summary, we're 0 for 12 or 13 or whatever. It's not a good take, but you know what? We'll give you credit. We'll give you credit for giving it a go. Check out the Numetal Agenda website. They do a pretty decent job of keeping up with new metal news with an NEWS. Even though sometimes we have bad takes, hey, nobody's perfect. If anybody who wrote for this article wants to come on and defend your position, please reach out and let us know. We will gladly have you on, and we will have a friendly, charitable debate of hot takes. Find us every Wednesday for new vids, new episodes, 12 p.m. Every Friday for new reaction vids at 12 p.m. New Breed _ podcast, Twitter and Instagram, newbreedpodcast@gmail.com, 267-297-4627 for all your audio complaints. Find us on r/new metal. Find us on our Facebook group. Until then, till next week, Jay and Tim saying,